YouTube, what the crap's going on? I guess it's more High Elves today. Welcome to Everrail Ridge, where I'm going to be taking on the vampire counts, led by Mr. ZDT Blitz. Said he was a viewer. Thank you for being a viewer, man. Really appreciate you and all the people that watch. He's going to bring his vampire counts. He brought a flyer army, probably expecting me to take dragons, because dragons are such a common pick with the High Elves. And I kind of thought about that and was like, you know what, I'm going to take something different. I'm going to take Tyrion. Because a lot of times vampire players won't bring heavy infantry, and they'll bring a lot of light infantry and monsters, and I was like, I can wipe up a lot of his light infantry with the Sunfang. Well, my opponent did bring some heavy infantry, and he's backing it up with a corpse cart. He's got some crypt ghouls, which is cool to add poison to take away weapon strength from my guys. He's got Sternsmen and a couple of Graveguard with great weapons, and then some skeleton warriors on the flank. So, I mean, some armored infantry in the center is going to make it a little tougher for me to know what to do with Sunfang. He's got a ton of stuff to distract me with here. He's got 5 flying units, 2 of which are Terrorgeist, which are anti-large and anti-armor. He's got a dragon, which is anti-armor, and a huge problem for me. And on that is Mannfred von Karstein, who has all kinds of spells at his disposal as well. So we're going to have to watch out. Immediately he's going to dive in with his bats to try and distract. The bats are going to die massively fast because these are Sea Guard with shields. They're going to be well equipped to take on zombies and bats. I've tried to move a little bit here, and I avoid a little bit of his breath attacks. His breath attacks are going to be one of his best answers to my Phoenix Guard, because infantry-wise, he doesn't have a good answer. I'm going to quickly try and mow down the corpse cart with the Unholy Lodestone. I don't want it buffing infantry. You can see over here, I'm already taking a lot of damage here. That poison is taking a massive toll on my Phoenix Guard. I used the Sunfang to mop up some of these skeleton warriors quickly. Again, you can see my my Sea Guard able to put down the bats, and then pretty quickly Tyrion ends up in a fight that he really doesn't want to be a part of. And I was sitting there trying to click a healing spell, and I was getting all kinds of misclicks, made it really hard for me. But eventually, I get the regrowth in here, which is going to give Tyrion 22% damage resistance and a lot of healing. It's going to barely be enough to try and get him out of here alive, because he is getting totally wrecked on right now, and it's not looking good for me because my front line's suffering. But I did manage to get an Earthblood here and kind of stabilize this Phoenix Guard. But again, those Crypt Ghouls they're taking a toll with that poison. Look what it's doing to my leadership and speed and weapon strength, everything else. The Corpse Cart gets taken out. Look how long Tyrion can tank in certain fights like this. He does really well. Tyrion is incredibly tanky. He's up against 2 anti-large units and 1 anti-armor, so he does get routed here just because of the sheer weight. And then somehow I managed to get my Mage of Life out of here. He doesn't pursue the Mage of Life. And I start focusing all my fire on Mannfred. But Mannfred starts dropping zombies all over me, and it's going to be a problem. But he tries to keep his flyers up in the air. I'm not sure why he doesn't dive in and try and seal the deal against the Sea Guard at this point. Tyrion comes back. I'm able to bring him back into the fight. Or this Mage of Life would be another great target for him. And I realized it right there, and I was like, ooh, I'm going to get out of here. And he started chasing Tyrion. I'm like, man, this actually works in my favor. You can chase Tyrion if you want, because it's giving my infantry time to start evening out this fight. His Crypt Ghouls are about to die, which will help my Phoenix Guard immensely. And right here, I'm able to go through my Phoenix Guard and kind of leave his dragons there to deal with them. So I'm going to get Tyrion to start being pretty slippery here. And again, you can see the zombies just having no impact whatsoever on my Sea Guards, except for keeping them from shooting, which is important. But I mean, they are dying a tremendous death here, or re-death, I should say. So I'm not going to let him catch Tyrion. Again, more zombies come in, but he's kind of just feeding my Sea Guard kills. It is good because it's helping him. But here in a minute, I'm going to go ahead and start pulling my Sea Guard back some and let the infantry take this fight. But for now, I was just letting him tank the zombies. Here he's going to use a breath attack, and it's going to hurt. It was a pretty decent breath attack. After a minute, I realized he was trying to use another one, and I get on the move, but still end up getting hit by 2 more breath attacks. Fortunately, they didn't do a ton to me. Tyrion's still safe, and here you can see I got some of my Phoenix Guard away, and I'm able to start targeting Mannfred again, and quickly we start putting some damage down, and I figured he was going to charge down, and he finally does here. But then decides not to, because I guess I had a Phoenix Guard around, but he really should have I don't know, he seems like he should be trying to get rid of these Sea Guard, because in the late game, those guys are going to be very problematic. So I kind of bait him with Tyrion again, and I'm going to charge through the back of his units and through my anti-large units to safety, while Mannfred takes more shots from my Sea Guard. And I've gotten a couple of my Sea Guard freed, but they've lost some of their attack orders and I haven't microed this one back over here, so that's a pretty big mistake. Missed micro here too. I was really busy just trying to keep Tyrion alive, so I'm sure my micromanagement was suffering terribly elsewhere. Here you can see I can finally get an attack here, and I'm going to keep Tyrion on the move. I get Foe Seeker there, which is going to be very helpful to keep him moving just ahead of the flyers. And Mannfred gets caught up here for just a second, and it's enough for me to do some heinous damage with my bows. So Mannfred's in big trouble. He's using Master of the Black Arts, and my opponent's just having a really hard time mopping up my Phoenix Guard. I've got a couple of Phoenix Guard left, and he's put up a good fight. The Sternsman has done very well, but he's just struggling. The problem with Grave Guard is they just don't get kills very quickly. So even against units that they will do okay against, they just can't get kills very quickly. Their attack is not very ferocious. Mannfred gets driven out. He's going to actually start crumbling out here, which means that he's going to drop. And now I really just have to deal with 2 Terrorgeist. And he continues to ignore my Mage of Life. I'm going to go ahead and use one more regrowth here, just mostly for the physical resistance. It is going to heal me some, though. Mannfred's crumbling, slowly crumbling, and it's not stopping. So he's eventually going to drop on his own out there, and I'm able to start firing at the Terrorgeist. So I just need to keep Tyrion alive for a little while longer. So I'm going to run him around like crazy and try and bait my opponent into a fight that favors me. Mannfred goes down, which is going to hurt leadership across the vampire lines, and it's at this point the battle kind of starts to swing back in my favor. My opponent had me on the run the entire time, but now even though these guys may get engaged in melee, they have spears, and you know, anti-large, and without the support of his leadership, even his Terrorgeist now are going to struggle to get into these Sea Guard. And that was the whole purpose here, was that my Sea Guard could go dual purpose, right? If they get the chance, they can shoot with their bows, and if they can't, then they'll fight pretty good with their spears against most vampire units. So that was my goal. And again, against skeletons, against zombies, the Sea Guard are going to do very well. Very well indeed. Such cool looking units. The High Elves have some amazing looking units. So yeah, we've got some attack orders in here. I get to drop one last heal with my mage. Tyrion remains alive, and I believe that I'm swinging him into the fight occasionally. I don't know where he's at the moment. Kind of lost. Yeah, he's right here, fighting one of the Terrorgeist. So I definitely tried to keep him away, but occasionally I would turn around with him and take the fight when it was a good opportunity to do so. I'm surprised how fast these Terrorgeist can move on the ground. But they can move pretty quick. Gets hard for Tyrion to outrun them. But like I said, at this point we've pretty much got it wrapped up. My opponent has the 2 Terrorgeist, but they're starting to crumble too. Leadership is getting low. His last remaining ground unit is about to give way. Well, I say about to give way. It's not really. The Sternsman has been incredibly durable here at 136 kills. But I'm going to go ahead and start focusing some more infantry on it. These guys start crumbling. And then at this point, it really kind of gets into a wrap-up. He finally chases my mage here, but it's pretty late in the game. My mage has been able to drop a lot of healing all over my army and keep my guys alive. Basically, we just outlasted the vampires here. Pyrrhic victory. My army wasn't super well suited to take on several flying units, and I'm pretty certain if my opponent would have dove and like tried to focus on one Sea Guard at a time earlier in that battle while he had the other ones tied up with zombies, he probably could have taken my Sea Guard out of the fight, and then this wouldn't have happened late game. So I do think that my opponent had the potential to beat me here, because really Tyrion can't do much to stop these guys when they land because he's not strong enough. And my Phoenix Guard were having to hold off Grave Guard, which means that they can't fight the flyers. And had I put my Spearmen up front and Phoenix Guard in the back, I mean, they would have only held the Grave Guard for so long before they would have crumbled to the Grave Guard. So I don't know, it was an interesting situation there, and I think this one, it went in my favor this time. I could see it going in his favor plenty of other times. So I appreciate the battle from it. It was fun. Again, these guys, I put some chevrons on these guys for the battle. These kills here did not give them the chevrons. That was just zombies. The Phoenix Guard, though, performed pretty well. I got good kills out of a couple of them. One of them not so much. They may have gotten hit hard by one of these Grave Guard with great weapons or something like that, but that Sternsman picked up a fair number of kills. I think plenty of them were Spearmen, but they got some Phoenix Guard kills as well. So fun game from my opponent. Thanks to ZDT Blitz. Thanks for watching the videos, man. I hope you're having a great day and appreciate the battle from you. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will be back with more videos for you tomorrow. I will see you then.